Mariah, order 5707 for a general reading. Thank you so much for your patience, and I apologize. This should not take it this long to get a reading to you. So thank you again. This is yours. You can rewatch it as many times as you wish. You can fast forward it, you can rewind it, you can share it. I would recommend to watch it by yourself first though, and then again, do with it how you wish. I don't know why I'm only shuffling it. Why it's this weird. So I have my computer here. That's where I'm getting your energy from. Okay. This is in the moment energy too. Energy is always changing and flowing and shifting. And as my cards come out, it's like past, present, and future. But future stuff is not set in stone. Because as soon as you start making decisions, then things may change. Okay. So keep that in mind. I will pause in between shuffling of decks so that you don't have to watch me shuffle and waste time. But I shuffle and talk with the first deck just so that I can do my little spiel normally. So thank you for trusting me, by the way, as well. But let's see what comes out. Some of the decks that I grabbed for you are like, not really lovey-dovey decks, but they're more like love-based. So I don't know really what's going to kind of come out. But we shall see. Please let me know how this resonates too. I just always am curious how it resonates with individuals to make sure that I have the correct energy. Oh, that's not right. All right, I'm going to pause for a second. Got some cards to come out finally. Apologize for that. So the first card that came out kind of sets the tone of the reading. It's like the anchor card, and it's strength. So you are one to kind of have that determination towards yourself. You don't really rely a lot on others. You're kind of that self-made person, and you have that presence about you and that persistence, the determination, and that resiliency to get through a lot of crap, okay? So now, way back, okay, not way back, but past, we have choosing chaos, okay? So this is about possible manipulation going on, drama queen energy, kind of, there's something that was happening that you got caught up in, and it still affects you to this day. So I don't know if it was with a friend, if it was with a family member, but something happened that kind of, they were very attention seeking and something happened. I don't know what. And I don't think it was like self-harm or anything like that. I think it was like just look at me kind of deal. And you were kind of like in the shadows kind of deal. Okay. So then we have the runner. So the runner is about a fear of intimacy, possibly. It can also be about ghosting people, avoiding stuff. You tend to be like, again, a self-made person, but you avoid certain tasks. If you don't like them, I see a dish, like dishes in sink for some reason. And like a task, like it's a craft of some sort sitting to the side and it's been sitting there for months. Is that you? Like, does that sound familiar? You're just like, you're avoiding it and you're like, oh, I'll get to it at some point. Like, you're not seeing it as avoiding it. You're more like, yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it kind of deal. And it's just something that you've done. So this whole runner fear of intimacy, someone I think right now is watching you. I think that is more of like a creepy kind of way, and I don't really like it because we got the watching you card came out. So this is about like fake profiles. This is about like social media, spying, hiding, those sorts of things. So notice the dandelions on here. So let me see one sec. So I just looked up spiritual meaning of dandelions, and it's positivity, hope, resiliency, and determination. Dandelions have a powerful spiritual symbolism and can help bring positivity, hope, resiliency, and determination. They are symbolic of our path of spiritual development, and they remind us that we should remain grounded while making sure that every movement counts. I think that you've been wishing on dandelions too. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it's kind of that time of season, but I think that you have been doing that, and you haven't done that for years. And I think that you have been doing that recently. So you are going to be going through a spiritual awakening because of this, whoever this is, and whoever that you're running away from, whoever this is representing to you, is going to be a rocky freaking road to get you to activate your spiritual awakening. So, my understanding of spiritual awakening is once you start having a spiritual awakening, it never really stops. It just keeps going. You might have blips in it, but it keeps going, okay? And you gotta go through the shit to get to the spiritual awakening, okay? So it's that ascension, the clarity, the aha moments. But it's also like to kind of prepare you to get through all the shit so that you can get to your higher self, okay? It sucks. And I think yours is going to come a little bit sooner than later, like going on right now, I think. That you're kind of coming to that realization. And you need to kind of forgive yourself, okay? So I think that there's something, again, with this whole choosing chaos and the strength and that sort of thing, something, again, is still triggering you. You need to ask forgiveness. Leave the past in the past and focus on the here and now. You can't do anything about the past. You can reflect on the past, but why stay in the past? Learn from the past, try and move from the past. Move forward. Don't give your energy to the crap, okay? So be gentle on yourself, because I think that you are very hard on yourself too. So these all came out together. So we have take a break, denial, and inner child. So take a break is about needing space. It could be temporary. I think this watching you person is somebody that you know, but they are kind of creepy spying on you for some reason. They suspect you for something. So I think that this is kind of just to kind of take a little bit of a break. You might be in denial a little bit about this stuff going on, but I think it's going to come to fruition at some point in time about it. And you might not be acknowledging it fully. So you might even be throwing yourself into other projects or throwing yourself into work to kind of avoid what was going on. And the inner child is about bringing playfulness back. So healing from past childhood wounds. It can also be about breaking those cycles that are from the past. So again, forgiving yourself, leaving the crap in the past so that you can move forward. And oh look, dandelions again. Look at that. So we got twin flame going on. So for you, you are not a twin flame. This is more about balancing. This is about mirroring what people perceive as you, or that you want people to perceive you as, versus who you actually are. You are kind of hiding behind a mask, I feel like, okay? So I think that you don't really express a whole lot to others, and you kind of keep to yourself for a lot of things, and you're kind of at a crossroads right now. So this is the bottom of the deck. You have a difficult choice to kind of make, but you're kind of stuck and stagnant. You kind of know where your end result is, but you're having a hard time to get to that end result, okay? So this is about, again, having that stalemate, that clash, difficult choice. Where do I go from here? Only you can figure that out, and it's up to you where you want to go. I think this crossroads is a lot to do with your practice, like starting metaphysically. I feel like you're very interested in it, but at the same time you're very skeptical about it. So let me grab another deck and see what comes out. One sec. So this deck is kind of reiterating the first deck, and that's why I kind of do multiple decks. But so the first card, and you are kind of blocking me, and you are very skeptical about this, because I had a hard time getting these cards to come out too. So you could be just naturally throwing up a shield, because some people can do that with their energy. But I feel like you're just not sure about this whole thing, and you're just like, and that's naturally putting up a shield. I hope you like your crystals, by the way, from your order that you got a little while ago. So the first card in this deck is risky. This one here is about, you feel like it's an unsafe decision for something. You're feeling like it's very risky to kind of go this avenue, because it's something that you were never really taught. You were never really into before, but it's kind of piquing your interest. And you're kind of like, I don't know, because you feel like it's like the devil's work or something like that. It's not really like that's not really how you feel, but that's the best way that I can describe it, because you're like in the shadows going hee hee hee, but at the same time you're very excited about it, but you feel like you can't tell anybody or like show anybody this because you're worried about how they're going to view you. And then we have present. So this is about feeling the moment, becoming aware today, and it's about like in the now. So you can't control the future. You can't control what other people do. All you can do is be present in the moment and appreciate what you have right then and there in that day. Tomorrow never comes, to be honest, and the past has already happened, and you cannot do anything about the past. So you can do little decisions. You make 10 million decisions each day, whether you know it or not. And those little decisions influence how things are going to happen. So only you can decide where to kind of go. But you need to kind of be in that moment and go yay or nay, because then witchcraft came out. So witchcraft, again, it's piquing your interest and you're kind of like, I want to, but I don't know where to start. Or I'm not sure if that's the avenue for me. Go with your instincts. Go with your intuition. You have a strong intuition, I feel like, but you don't use it to your full advantage. And I think that's part of the problem, is you have this interest in it, but you just not sure where to kind of head to. So what I would recommend is, if you don't have a book already, try a book and see if it's kind of resonating with you. Go with any kind of metaphysical stuff. If you want to get into more about like working with crystals, those sorts of things, go with the avenue that piques your interest first, and then kind of go from there. Now, this was kind of interesting because children came out sideways for me. So when my cards come out sideways like this, it's like past, present, and future, but it's in reverse. So this is about like immaturity, innocence, childhood. It can also represent children themselves. But I feel like since this is in reverse, you have the maturity level for this, but you're kind of, again, like, you're not treating it how it actually is, how it's meant to be. Because you're like, there's no way that that's going to work. There's no way that that is going to happen. There's no way that, like, you're looking at it from, like, the wrong perspectives. So you have to have your mind around it. Check out my playlist on TT, which is TikTok, and see, if anything from there stems your interest or you resonate with, because I have a feeling that you're really skeptical about this, but also, again, you have an interest in it. You're seeing a lot of signs too, because the signs card came out sideways, but it's in upright. So this is about repeating numbers, synchronicities. It could be animals. I think it's more numbers, and you're recognizing some of the numbers. And I think some of the angel number videos have kind of come up on your feed. But recognizing those signs and those meanings and kind of going, it's a number. It's just a number. But you, again, it's kind of like, if you believe it, great. If you don't, it's your choice. It's your preference. But I feel like whatever these meanings are, it's your guides trying to send you kind of the signs to be like, hey, hello, I'm trying to get you on the right pathway. But I don't think you're quite recognizing those signs. And then this was interesting too. The observing sign came out. So notice this: being watched, social media, stalking. It's repeating in this deck from the first deck. Look how many cards. And I shuffled. It's not like I pulled it out. I shuffled it. So they're repeating. The bottom of this deck is butterflies. So feeling complete. It's also about evolving, growing, having that devotion to what you want to put your energy towards. So I have a feeling that, again, you're going to be evolving and growing, but once you start kind of looking into things a little bit more on how and what you can do with this sort of stuff, it's going to open your eyes a little bit more, and you got to believe it. So even like with, you are half the battle with everything. Anything that you do as far as like metaphysical wise, you are half the battle. Your intention is half the battle. So if you don't believe it, it ain't gonna happen. Okay? Just stating that right now. If you put your energy towards it, to what you want it to do, it has a higher chance of success. So this goes for working with crystals. This goes for spell work. This goes for intentions. This goes for everything. Okay? So whether you know it or not, even if you're like, well, I set the intention, but in your mind, if you're like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like, that puts a negativity on what you're trying to do. So you are, in fact, pulling away from it, and it's not going to happen. And if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. You might not be meant to have that happen. But I have a feeling that you are self-sabotaging that sort of stuff. Let me grab one more deck. All right, this is interesting. I think that you have a connection to lapis lazuli, because lapis lazuli is like one of like the royal stones kind of deal. If you kind of look up on Google what royal stones are, because of how these came out. I only got 3 cards to come out in this deck, my tarot deck. This is my original tarot deck. So the first one is the Emperor. The Emperor represents masculine power. This is like the divine masculine authoritative power going on, okay? So this is about natural leader, structure, strategy. You're an analytical thinker, okay? And you're taking action to have it happen, okay? And you tend to have more masculine energy than feminine energy. Everybody has masculine energy, everybody has feminine energy. But your masculine side tends to take over. So the kind of rough, tough, kind of deal when it needs to come out. The feminine energy is more like loving, tender, heart on your sleeve, kind of energy. Okay? Now, this is interesting because we got the Queen of Swords that came out next. And then we have the Queen of Cups. Now, let's talk about her first. So the Queen of Swords is about a thoughtful leader, unbiased decision maker. This is also about making an excellent you're an excellent communicator and wise and logical like counselor. So you kind of like think things through logically. So it's like, okay, if I don't see it, I don't believe it. If I don't try it for myself, it ain't gonna happen. If it doesn't work for me, it's not gonna work for anyone else. This is kind of how you're thinking. And honesty, okay? So you're being perceptive, intelligence, being direct, and you try seeking the truth, okay? So you like uncovering things for yourself. And then we got the Queen of Cups, as mentioned. So the Queen of Cups is about being extremely intuitive, okay? This is also about being highly attuned, emotional intelligence. It's also about like love and compassion, sensitivity, strength, empathy, leading with your heart in healing. Okay, now this is interesting because of how they came out. I'm going to go backwards because of the reversal. So we got this. Notice the imagery on these. We got facing forward and then facing each other as they came out. This is representing you as a nutshell. Okay? Because you're forward facing, but then we got these two facing each other, so they're kind of like dualities, okay? So they're working together, but you're not seeing it completely because you are not trusting yourself and your intuition and what you are actually capable of because you are stuck in this energy, okay? And then the bottom of the deck, we got the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is about like creativity, enthusiasm, ideas aplenty, those sorts of things. So this is also about like being creative, newly found inspiration. So I think that maybe after this, it might open your eyes and you are going to have a little bit of this going on. But having new skills and bringing those skills about so that you can work with them, because now that you kind of maybe understand a little bit more, this is going to help. Okay. So you have that curiosity, but at the same time, you're very skeptical about this sort of stuff. So you need to ask yourself permission to dream and get that energy going, and brainstorming for yourself and start trusting in yourself and start actually kind of going with the flow of things. I think you got this reading honestly because you were like, let's see what she has to say. It's going to be just like any other reading. Like, that's kind of how I feel. So I'm curious to know how this resonates with you, because I've never really had a reading like this before. So I'm just wondering how it's going to resonate with you. But thank you for trusting me, and I hope this makes sense. But feel free to watch this as many times as you wish, or share it with others if you want to. It's totally up to you and at your discretion. But thank you again for your support, and I hope again that you love your crystals that you got. So thank you so much yet again, and for your patience. See ya.